Notre Dame fans, good afternoon from a beautiful 70-degree day here in a suddenly optimistic New York City. The Irish are 7-1, and they're off this week. I'm really liking the timing of these two bye weeks this year. The team has looked great coming off the first bye week. I mean, honestly, looking like a completely different team with the offense starting to throw the ball around, and I really do expect that to continue next week when we take on Florida State. But being that there is a bye week, I'm looking forward to a casual football Saturday. I'm sure a lot of you are as well. There's some great games this Saturday. I mean, potential playoff elimination games, if we're being honest. It's November, and to coin the old Brian Kelly phrase, November's for contenders and October's for pretenders. I don't know if he said that going into Texas A&M and to Kyle Field last weekend to his team in LSU, but it definitely still rings true for Notre Dame. Looking back last weekend, Notre Dame waltzed into MetLife and beat Navy 51-14 on a game that saw 7 turnovers for Navy, and they looked extremely rattled. They definitely felt Notre Dame all game long. Riley Leonard went 13 for 21 for 178 yards and 2 touchdowns through the air. The Irish rushed for 10 carriers and 83 yards. And, I mean, this offense has just gotten significantly better week after week as Riley Leonard and some of these wide receivers, again, a lot of these guys are transfers, are starting to look a lot more comfortable in this Mike Denbrock offense. I thought the offensive line looked great. So, again, here we are going into another bye week, and if we can come out against FSU, another improved version of ourselves, I really like where this team can go. We moved up to number 8 in the AP poll, which I thought was pretty generous. We'll take it. I think a lot of that probably had to do with Texas A&M beating LSU. We'll take it. ND moving up to number 8. We'll see what that means with the actual college football rankings, but with the AP, we'll take a number 8 rating. We saw Riley hit the short, intermediate, and deep throws all game long, and he looked really decisive in his reads, I thought. He ran the ball great. Just really impressed with the kid and impressed with what this team has been able to do. They've clearly turned the page after Northern Illinois. I think this is the largest winning streak under Marcus Freeman's career. Beat a ranked Navy team with FSU, Virginia, Army, and USC ahead. One thing I am a little nervous about, and this could be another litmus test for the Irish, is, Army's still sitting there. They're still ranked. Their quarterback looks like a total stud. Honestly, having a Heisman caliber season, I know they haven't really played anybody, but he's having a great year. I just really hope that we don't waltz into this game, hey, like we beat Navy. Navy was supposed to be the better team. We got to look at their explosive kind of new look option offense, and we beat it. You can't take Army lightly. That game sits in Yankee Stadium. There could be a lot riding on that game for Army. There is. I mean, that game in that venue and those two teams, I mean, that's some of the best college football has to offer. And I really hope that if ND and Army continue to win, I think College Game Day needs to look at that site as a potential location. I don't know where you put the actual productions. You put it on the lawn, on that baseball soccer field right in front of the stadium. I don't know where you put it for safety reasons, but I think that ESPN, if you happen to see this, this extremely well rated and highly consumed podcast, I think you should really take a look at that game. Notre Dame Army, Yankee Stadium. It's a game that I'll be going to. Jeremiah Love carried the ball 12 times and rushed for 102 yards and 2 touchdowns in another dominant performance. I like that ND featured him when the game kind of tightened up a little bit in the third quarter when Navy went down and scored. And then I like that we waned off of him. I know a lot of ND fans want to see Jeremiah Love touch the ball every single play, and I get it. I think that Mike Denbrock and this coaching staff is looking at it differently. I think they'd rather get the passing attack up to speed, get Riley Leonard more comfortable. He's gotten more comfortable week after week. The offense has gotten a lot better. But I'd rather see the passing game improve and kind of save Jeremiah Love for USC and the playoff. I think we can win all of our other games without Jeremiah Love touching the ball 20 times. we have enough running backs that can kind of share the load and then just kind of get Jeremiah Love one touchdown and get him out of there. I don't want him hurt. We're going to need him in the playoff against some teams that can play defense. And I think that's when we'll need to feature him more, not against Navy at MetLife Stadium. But really like what I see from this Notre Dame team. I am looking forward to a casual football Saturday where I don't have to watch Notre Dame and have a heart attack every 25 minutes. So there's a lot of really good games on this weekend that I'll be paying attention to. You have Clemson and Louisville, Miami and Duke. I feel like that's a sneaky good one. Just waiting for Miami to lose a game, honestly. They've been winning by the hair of their chinny chin chin. So we'll see if Duke can beat them. I mean, there's that whole coaching connection with Manny Diaz in Miami. So we'll see if Duke can sneak one up on Miami. SMU and Pitt. I've liked watching SMU a lot this season. I think it's hilarious that they're in the ACC, but while they are, they're a team I'm rooting for. I like their uniforms, and it's really that simple. So SMU and Pitt. We have Oregon at Michigan. I feel like this could be a sneaky good one. Michigan kind of beat the brakes off USC there at the end of that game. Not beat the brakes. That's not true. Michigan beat USC at home. And this is another game where you have Oregon coming into the Big Ten. Is there some pride there for the Wolverines coming into the big house? Do they kind of sneak up on Oregon and get a W there? Maybe. Does Oregon roll them and continue to kind of hold their spot at the top of the Big Ten? Probably, but it's a game I'll be watching. What else do we have here? Texas A&M and South Carolina. That's at Williams-Brice. I can attest that Williams-Brice is absolutely bonkers. I lived in South Carolina for a while and went to a bunch of games there, and it is probably one of the most underrated fan bases in the sport. It's a beautiful stadium, and I mean, if we're being honest, South Carolina could have easily notched off 2 to 3 more wins this season against some high-ranked teams, and maybe we're looking at them a lot differently. So that's definitely a trap game, and that's a game I'll be watching. So I could have sworn we had one more in here. Obviously, yeah. Ohio State goes to Penn State with the whiteout. That's a game I looked at tickets for. But, I think we're going to try and hold out, maybe go to the Yankee game instead. So, yeah. No Notre Dame this weekend. Sit back, Irish fans, watch some college football, do some scouting, and let's see where we land come Monday with the AP poll. And then I do believe that, let's see, does the college football, do the playoff rankings come out this week? I think they do. I think this is the first version. Let's see. Yeah, the rankings start on Tuesday, November 5th, and they'll continue through Sunday, December 8th. So, yeah, after this weekend, come Tuesday, we'll see where the college football, playoff committee ranks Notre Dame, and then that's the ranking system that will go off the rest of the season. In the past, I think they valued Notre Dame, and obviously we had seasons where we were undefeated. We made the dance with no questions asked, but we had that one year where we were 11-1, the year where Brian Kelly left, and we played Oklahoma State, where I thought the playoff committee kind of held us in pretty high regard. I think we sat there at 5. So really curious to see where they put us. Do they value the Texas A&M win more, or do they value the Northern Illinois loss? We shall see. I do think if Notre Dame can continue to play to their potential and beat the brakes off teams and then go into USC and win by 10 points, maybe we host a playoff game. But, I just want to get in. Just get in and see what we can do. That was the goal at the beginning of the season, was getting to the playoff. After beating Texas A&M the way we did and kind of the way we've bounced back after a catastrophic loss. I really like this team. I think we can beat anybody. I really do. Notre Dame can beat anybody in the country, but they could lose to the Sisters of the Poor. And that's where it stands. I'm really impressed with Marcus Freeman. I think he's bounced back, and he was definitely looking down a potential, black hole after that loss to NIU, and he's got this team playing great. They're playing for each other. Riley Leonard's really improved, and I love what I see. The season's back on. Enjoy the bye week, Irish fans. Hoping LSU can lose another game to Alabama. and Brian Kelly can be looking for a job. Otherwise, go Irish. Talk to you soon.